far below the surface of the ocean, beyond where sunlight fades into cold darkness. There is a depth that has never truly been explored, not because it cannot be reached, but because something down there does not want to be found. The ocean is often described as empty, a vast endless void of water and pressure, but that isn't entirely true, because there are places in the sea where the emptiness feels wrong, heavy, occupied. This place has no official name, no chart marks it, no captain willingly sails across it twice, yet it has been encountered again and again. Every time, the story begins the same way, with a descent. At first it is routine. Equipment is lowered into the water. Cameras flicker to life. Numbers begin to rise, depth, pressure, temperature. Everything behaves exactly as expected. The water turns darker. Blue fades into gray. Gray fades into black. But then, something changes. The descent slows. Not because of resistance in the water. Not because of mechanical failure, but because it feels like something below is pushing back. The cables strain, not violently, not enough to snap, just enough to feel unnatural. The signal begins to distort. At first, small flickers, minor interruptions. Then, something else creeps in. A sound. Low, deep, almost too low to hear. It isn't random. It isn't static. It has rhythm, a pattern. The deeper the equipment goes, the clearer it becomes, until it no longer sounds like interference. It sounds deliberate. Above the surface, the ocean changes, the wind drops, the waves flatten, everything becomes still. Not calm, but controlled. Onboard systems begin to behave strangely. Not failing, not shutting down, just hesitating, as if something is interrupting their function. Watching them. Below, the camera continues its descent. The darkness is complete now, total. And yet, something is visible. A movement, far below. Too large to define, too slow to track. At first, it seems like imagination, a trick of the eye. But then it happens again, and again. And each time, it feels closer. Then a point of light appears, small, still, perfectly centered. It doesn't flicker. It doesn't move. It just exists. At first glance, it looks distant, like something far below reflecting the camera's light. But as the descent continues, something becomes clear. It never changes size, not even slightly, which means it isn't far away. The realization comes slowly. Too slowly, because the human mind resists it. But eventually, there is no other explanation. It isn't a light. It's an eye so vast that its full shape cannot be captured. The edges disappear into darkness. It does not blink. It does not react. It simply watches. The moment this understanding forms, the sound changes. The deep hum becomes heavier, slower, more aware. The camera feed begins to warp, not from pressure, not from damage, but as if reality itself is bending. The eye becomes clearer, closer, even though the camera has stopped moving. Above the surface, everything goes silent, completely. Engines hum quietly, but feel distant. Voices sound muted, as if the entire ship has been disconnected from the world. Then, the sound becomes a pulse, a slow, powerful beat. Each pulse distorts the signal. Each beat sends a vibration through the water. And then, something impossible happens. The camera begins to rise, not by command, not by recovery, but by force. As if something below has made a decision. The eye remains fixed, watching, unblinking. And then, for the first time, it moves. Slowly, deliberately, it turns. Not searching, not scanning, but focusing on the camera. On the ones watching, the pulse grows stronger, closer, and then everything stops. The sound, the motion, the feed. For a brief moment, there is nothing. Then, the signal returns. Distorted, broken, but visible. The eye is still there, closer than before, too close. And now, something is different. At the center of the eye, there is a reflection. Not the camera, not the darkness. Something else. Something above. A shape, a silhouette. Something standing where nothing should be. And then, the recording ends. When the data is recovered, most of it is corrupted, unusable, but that final fragment remains, studied, replayed, analyzed. No one can explain it. No one can identify the reflection. And yet, those who watch it report the same thing. A feeling. Not fear. Not panic. Recognition. As if whatever is down there has already seen them before. Since then, no official missions have returned to that location. The coordinates quietly removed. Ignored. But the ocean does not forget. Sometimes, far from land, when ships drift into unusually still waters, they report something strange. The same silence, the same heaviness, and sometimes, deep beneath the hull, something taps, once, twice, slow,
Heavy?
like a signal. And in the deepest parts of the ocean, where no light has ever reached, that eye remains open, watching, waiting for something to descend again.